prep career, he consistently emerged as a winner and has maintained an impressive track record of victories as a coach. He's been leading FAMU football since 2018 and boasts an overall win percentage of .733. Coach Simmons has consistently proven his prowess in achieving success. The Rattlers are now aiming for their 10th consecutive victory under his leadership. Coach, an opportunity to continue the fire that is already in this building for the Rattlers. Your comments, sir.
Well, greetings, everyone. I bring you greetings from the Highest of Seven Hills. President Dr. Larry Robinson, Vice President, Athletic Director Tiffany Don Sykes, and again, all Rattlers across the nation. We're excited to be a part of this game. It's been stated time and time again how important this game is for the city of Miami Gardens, for South Florida, for these HBCUs, respective HBCUs, but HBCUs across the country. You know, as a product of HBCU grads, I know what an HBCU education can do. And again, the word that continues to spread throughout not only South Florida, but throughout this great state and throughout this country, again, is why this game is taking place. A lot of the focus, obviously, is on the football game. We've talked about the ramifications of this game. The last 2 years, the winner of this game has gone on to represent the SWAC in the Celebration Bowl. Unfortunately, that has not been Florida A&M, and but those have been our only 2 losses in the last 2 seasons in conference. And so again, it's a huge game. Again, 2 great football teams, 2 great fan bases, 2 great bands, 2 great just institutions overall. And what better place to showcase everything that is black excellence than Miami Gardens over at Hard Rock Stadium. So we're excited about the opportunity. We look forward to a continued partnership, and again, just looking forward to coming down and turning the tides a little bit. We've got some unfinished business, and we know what's at stake. So Rattlers, I appreciate you for showing up. Thank you for always being here to support, and security, we know underneath those suits is orange and green, so we appreciate you.
And we in trouble then.
Coaches, thank you very much. Time to open up our press conference and the question portion for reporters. There are microphones on each side. If you have questions, please stand and make your way to those particular microphones. If you have any questions for the game, please direct them at the coaches. If you have event and or partnership questions, Ms. Bullock, I'm sure will be able to answer those for you. I know we have a question or 2 coming from Facebook as well, but if we're ready to go, then we have some questions. Please step to the mic.
Hello, my question, can you hear me? Okay, my question is a general one, so I guess Ms. Bullock would be probably the best one to answer, but is there ever going to be a time when other HBCUs are represented in the Classic? I speak as a bitter Howard Bison after reading the press kit and seeing what happened in the first game.
So that's a tough room to answer this question. Can we speak like off? You know?
Absolutely.
But I will say that our ultimate goal, yes, as the game progresses throughout the years, is to assist as many HBCUs as possible. Yes, so that is the goal. And you'll be happy to know that this year we have some Howard Bison that are being represented. So Lynn Whitfield, who is I think, 4th-year generation Bison, will be at the Commissioner's Welcome Reception and Luncheon. And we have a couple other Howard alums. You'll be happy for this weekend, this year.
It's Ms. Bullock, right? You may be the best person to answer this question, but I think you spoke to $33 million in economic, influx to this community during this event.
Correct.
And 9,000 jobs supported, and you said $2 million to participate in colleges.
Correct.
Is there any concern that any of that will be impacted because of what is happening here in the state of Florida when it comes to legislation, the NAACP urging folks not to come to the state of Florida because of their blackness and their LGBTQIA plusness, and what those ramifications may be as it relates to this particular event, specifically because this is 2 HBCUs coming to the largest black community in the state of Florida that Ms. Suggs has dubbed the capital of sports.
So I was actually asked that question earlier. And yes, so this game, thank you. This game has we're going into year 3, and this game has been very impactful for our community. What I explained to someone earlier was that the history of the Orange Blossom Classic, dating back to 1933, has and will always be celebrating our institutions when others have not. That is where we started, and that is what we will continue to do. So my encouragement to everyone who is a fan, who understands the importance and the significance and the history of not just FAMU and JSU, but the Classic and HBCUs as a whole, is to continue to support that, and support that with your presence, support that knowing that we are supporting students, we're supporting student athletes, we're supporting our institutions, and we're supporting our community. So that economic impact and the 9,000 jobs that I mentioned earlier is all reflective of the majority of those being small minority-owned businesses. So we don't want to lose that momentum. We did something really spectacular by bringing over 30,000 people year 1, just coming off of a pandemic, knowing that we needed that financial infusion. And so we don't want to stop that momentum. We want people to understand that you spend your dollars where your dollars are welcomed and where they're appreciated. And coming here, as you said, in the largest black city is what you're doing when you are here for the Orange Blossom Classic.
Do you think that will be maintained as a follow-up, as a result of what's going on?
Yes, absolutely. And I believe if you heard how these rattlers reacted in here today, I don't think they're going to slow down. And I think JSU is going to come out and support TC after they just heard how these rattlers acted today.
Thank you. Ms. Suggs, just in the way of follow-up, you spoke about this capital, this particular place, this community. Did any of this legislative talk and policy talk come up in discussions when it came to organizing and keeping and maintaining this event here? And then going forward, do you think it will be an issue going forward?
No.
Succinctly. Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Chairman Gilbert.
Next questions, please. Gotcha. And we had a question or two from Facebook as well. If we don't have any more questions from the press. We do. Madam.
Just got to get across this. Okay. So my question is geared more towards either one of you all. The impact of popularity because of so much attention that has been brought to HBCUs by concerted efforts, and what that feels like. And I specifically speak first to you, Coach Taylor, because you stepped into some shoes, and someone mentioned Deion Sanders. Clearly, he raised the bar. What did that feel like to step into those shoes? I saw your records. Winner, you have been, from North Carolina Central to Jackson State, even you're playing. Mm-hmm. But what did it feel like to step into the shoes when Deion Sanders raised the bar, not just for Jackson State, but HBCUs across the board? And let me share why I say that. I was in New Orleans, Louisiana. I saw a Jackson State University bus pull up for a baseball team and was excited. Oh my God, that's how I felt. Mm-hmm. I'm not the only one feeling like that. And this was only during HBCU Legacy Bowl, I think it was. And so if I'm feeling like that, everyone else is on the popularity. How does that feel to you?
I mean, it feels good, but I think, first of all, in this post-prime era, I'm going to say it like that, it's always been an expectation at HBCUs. I attended Jackson State, and it was a demand to win when I played there, growing up as a child going to those games. But he did bring a lot to the game, in the last couple of years for our program. I mean, you talk about the success he had to play in 2 Celebration Bowls and to continue to lead that charge. I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling. We're capitalizing basically because of our brand as well as the JSU brand, though. It's a lot of people across the country that knows and believes in what Jackson State is doing as a program. You see what we did in recruiting this past year, #1 signing class in HBCU. I'm very proud of that. But I'm ready to go. I'm excited about it. That time has passed, and we can't look back at that. I'm looking forward to 23 right now.
Right.
But you know, that everybody always asks me about that expectation, but that expectation has been there. That's what I be talking about when I say the bar is high at Jackson State, because it's been that way. You know, our alumni, our fans, they expect to win, and that's what we're going to do.
Indeed. And Coach?
Yeah, I first say it would be Howard Bison to start the press conference off with something non-football related, but that's a jab at Howard. I'm just joking. We're old MEAC foes, so but no, you know, and TC said it best. You know, like I said, TC played at Jackson State. I grew up 20 minutes from Florida A&M. I knew about Florida A&M before I knew about any PWI. You know, because again, the legacy, I knew about Jake Gaither, I knew about Bob Hayes and Rudy Hubbard, and, you know, the legacy that was Florida A&M back when the game was started back in 1933. And so, again, we're thankful to the awareness that has been brought forth, and but we've always been extremely proud of our brands. You know, FAMU has been a worldwide brand, you know, way before I was even thought of. And, you know, we can't go through the airport without a Rattler reaching out to us. You can't travel around the United States without a Rattler, you know, acknowledging us. And so just what we've been able to do through the Orange Blossom Classic only furthers that, right? We are one of the few games that are on ESPN. And so to be able to be one of the first nationally televised football games of the season gives two phenomenal institutions a chance to show what we're all about. So a student in Spokane, Washington, who wants to be a business major, may take a second look at Florida A&M, or a first look. May have never heard of the institution, but when they see the School of Business and Industry and what we've been able to do nationwide, our School of Architecture, Engineering, you know, journalism, graphic design, that's what this game does, and that's what it allows. So the awareness that, you know, Coach Prime brought, we're appreciative of it because his voice allowed that to take place. And, you know, it's going to take more people like him that have that type of influence to continue to speak to what the goodness of HBCUs is truly all about. But Coach Taylor and I are going to do our job, and our job is to prepare our football teams to go out and represent our institutions in a first-class manner, and the same could be said about Dr. Chipman with the March to 100. And so this is a great opportunity, and we thank you know, Ms. Bullock for the vision. I still remember her first meeting when she came and bombarded one of our alumni association meetings over there in West Palm, and talked about this game. And so we're thankful to have it, and we're looking forward to representing Florida A&M once again.
Okay, and one more question, follow-up. I was here last year, and I saw the game, and actually impressed. So the difference in last year and this year, I know you can't give me your, your game plays, but the difference in last year and this year against Jackson State.
I would say it simply, that was last year.
Okay,
And
stop looking behind forward, got it. Thank you.
We do have, before I get to your question, one question from Facebook. Vaughn is writing. Thank you for doing so, Vaughn. First, Coach, for you, I will paraphrase. He was noting, how important would it be to get off to a good start in the Orange Blossom to really put yourself in position to be in the winning position at the end?
Well, you know, obviously, we both talked about it. You know, this game has ultimately decided the SWAC East winner. And so it's imperative to not only start fast, but to sustain it. You know, obviously we're playing in the mecca of football here in Miami Gardens, but we're also playing right underneath the sun. It feels so the heat that illuminates from being right here in South Florida will have a profound impact on the game. And so again, it's about our preparation. It's about, you know, our hydration, about doing the little things right to give our football team the best chance to be successful. But it's going to be an emotional game. You know, it's kind of flipped this year as opposed to last year, whereas, you know, we had a week 0 game to kind of try to get ourselves ready. This year, Jackson State has a week 0 game. So, again, the dynamics have changed just a little bit, but the team that's the most prepared, the team that can, you know, control our emotions and just play the way that we've been coached to play will have the best chance. But, yeah, starting fast is definitely very, very important in this type of football game.
Vaughn's question for you, Coach Taylor, was more of the idea of having that head coach headset on. While it won't be the first game, it'll be the first classic for you in that space, and how you anticipate that.
I look forward to it. I'm excited about it. I tell people all the time, I've been preparing for this moment for a while to be a head coach. That's why I was able to hit the ground rolling, you know, but I'm excited about it. I don't think nobody else will be announced as the head coach from here to now until that time, so I got to be ready to go, you know. Like Coach said, we open up week 0 with Buddy Pugh and South Carolina State, a great program, and then we come down here to face Coach Simmons and those Rattlers that's up in here in the house. So I got to be ready to go. It's big shoes to fill, and I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello. So this question is for Ashley Bell. So I have two questions. So the first one is, why is it so important to support and partner with OEC?
Thank you for the question. First off, it starts with this is a great place to come for our market. We think that you have a lot of black professionals here. You have a great town like Miami Gardens has had great leadership for a long time. We see an opportunity here to offer a service, which is to help close the racial wealth gap in this country. We live in a country where 43% of black people own a home and 76% of white people own a home, and there is the gap. And so for us, when we can come out and give an NIL deal to Isaiah Land at Florida A&M and have him do a commercial for us saying that I want people in my neighborhood where I grew up to own a home at 26 instead of the average age of a black person owning a home is 48. So when we talk about creating generational wealth earlier, it starts with students, but we also think there's an incredible opportunity here in South Florida to expand our brand.
So are there programs in place to help close that disparity as far as building generational wealth? Like what kind of programs are in place to help with that process along the way?
And that's what's great about partnering with OBC. This is going to be a great weekend. It's more than just a game. So you'll get an opportunity to interact with us, our financial literacy team. We gave out 1,000 tickets last year to high school students around South Florida because we wanted them to come to our events, learn about creating generational wealth, and to attend the game. We're going to do it again this year. It's about giving people opportunity to see HBCUs up close in a way they haven't been able to see them before.
All right. So, and one more question. So tonight is a big night. We got the Heat versus the Celtics. So, I mean, who are you going for tonight? Like, what team are you on?
Well, with the Lakers out, I'm with the Heat all day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Coaches, based on, can you please talk a little bit about your offense and defensive line, how you expect to play those out? In addition, with all the fanfare, is there any wages among the coach, and if so, what it is?
Who's that question for specifically?
Both coaches.
Okay. As far as wages, no, there are enough degrees
Somebody
of separation.
washing their car,
Well,
somebody something.
Well, again, you know, all of us, we talk about being a family. Ashley Robinson, who's athletic director, obviously at Jackson State, gave me my first opportunity as a head football coach. I work with Dwayne. You know, Miss Mitchell and I have a great relationship. You know, so again, there are enough internal bragging rights that we don't have to do anything tangible. You know, just the 365 days of knowing that I got you, you know, is enough for these two fan bases. But you know, obviously, interior line play is going to be critical on both sides, right? You know, so you're looking at probably, I would say, arguably the two best defensive lines, you know, in HBCU football, arguably FCS football. You know, the amount of tackles for loss, sacks over the last 2 years has been evident. You know, I think both teams have finished top 5 nationally in tackles for loss and sacks in the last 2 years. And so on the flip side, that means our offensive lines have our hands full, right? And so just trying to do our best job to prepare them to protect the quarterback. Obviously, we both know how important that position is. So being able to affect the quarterback is going to be a huge advantage in this game, and which team is able to do it the best, I think, gives itself the best chance to come out victorious.
Yeah, I think the D-line has been the deciding factor on this game the last couple of years. You look at last year, I think we had 5-6+ sacks coming from the D-line. I'm always big on those guys in the trenches about depth, though. When you can get about 10, 11, 12, 13+ guys on each side of the ball in a game like Coach was talking about, it's pretty hot out there, you know, throughout the day, and you're able to rotate them out and not skip a beat. I mean, that's always a plus. You know, even on the offensive line, you know, we expect to play probably anywhere from probably about 8, 9, 10 guys on the offensive side of the ball on the offensive line. So, you know, I think that game is decided in the trenches. You know, those big bodies, whichever one can be in the best condition, be hydrated, be ready to go on that day, you know, that team will win that football game. And I'm not going to speak on the betting part, you know. Leave that alone.
It's always good to leave that alone. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you for those questions. Specifically, our Facebook question from HBCU Game Day. Distinguished guests, esteemed dignitaries, OBC Board of Directors, members of the press, thank you for participating in this Denny's Orange Bowl Classic presented by Ready Life Kickoff Press Conference. Please join us now for our reception. As for photographers, I know you guys probably still want to take some more pictures. Coaches, if you don't mind, right in front of the podium here, that'd be fantastic. Once again, thank you so much, and let's go Heat.